Hey, Rachel.
Hi, Anne. You're joined.
How are you?
Let me start my video. How are you doing?
Oh, I've been rotten, but I'm on antibiotics and all my head is kind of like, but hopefully it will work, right?
What happened?
I had this thing called bronchiostasis and it was weird. There was like a spasm that hit that and up through my sinus. And nobody's explained that. I went to the hospital and what they basically made it, because it was in my chest, a woman of maturity, I had every heart test known to man. I have a good heart, but nobody ever told me anything about the rest. But I'm alive.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I'll get better.
Okay, all right.
Positive thinking.
Positive, yes, positive thinking.
Well, you're going to have a new group of us to face.
It's going to be a big change.
Well, it'll be a little mix.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure David will come back.
Yeah, I'm cross our fingers on that. I think that would be.
It just makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
We're the area where most of this stuff happens.
Exactly. Yeah. So if that doesn't work, if that doesn't come to pass, then we'll do a service recognition for David at the next meeting.
Oh, I think we're good.
Yeah, I think we're good. But yeah, so that's not good, but
hey,
we're getting we finally posted for the commission.
Yay! Good.
We'll get someone soon. Hopefully, maybe by the next meeting, but definitely in January, I think.
Okay.
So that's good. It's good.
I am sure you will appreciate having that done.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Looking forward to it.
So how are you doing with the wonderful pandemic?
There's
a place where you can walk in your neighborhood?
Yeah, there is. It's like it's an ebb and flow. It's some days are good, some days are not good. It seems like things are maybe getting better, a little bit more positive. But just taking it one day at a time. But yeah, I'm doing walks and just trying to have peace of mind, but it's okay.
It's hard. It's hard everywhere.
Yeah. But
my neighbor does work. He's retired, but he does special work. And that poor guy has to fly to El Paso tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
Everything is falling to hell in a handbasket.
Yeah.
So
wow.
His wife is worried. I don't blame him.
Yeah. My dad's in Georgia, and people eat inside. It's just like,
it's strange times between the election and the pandemic. I can't think of a stranger time, honestly, Rachel.
I know. It's an interesting time.
That's true.
But at least we get to see it, at least we get to be here and participate in it. And
well, maybe things will calm down if we can get the administration to do what it's supposed to do and we can move on. I'm hopeful things will be more positive.
Me too.
We need it.
I think.
Hey, Rachel, this is Splen. Can you hear me?
Hi, Splen. I can hear you.
Okay. Should I mute myself or is it too loud?
You're fine. I don't hear anything.
Oh. Okay.
I don't hear any background.
Good. I don't have anybody screaming in the car. That's good.
Hello, Jerry.
Okay, so
hello.
Hi. Now, I think I messed up and I clicked the wrong link for myself. Hold on.
Is Jerry listening?
He is.
Mm-hmm.
Gary, this is Ann Wieskamp, and I want to apologize for not coming this evening, but I'm on antibiotics. I mean, even orally. My head is like pounding, and I'm going to hope this isn't too long a meeting, but you know how much I appreciate the award for the district.
Okay, well, we'll let you go this time.
And I appreciate your participation in all this.
Oh, you bet. I've enjoyed it.
Good. I hope you enjoy your retirement too.
I'm going to enjoy it even more.
Yes, I'm sure you will. I thought one Zoom was about all I could handle today. My head tells me.
Sorry, I'm just making sure I have it in the right viewer as a webinar, but hello, Chair.
There he is, the man of the hour.
Hi, Andrew.
Hi.
Is everyone viewing this as a webinar or just a kind of regular meeting?
Whatever,
Zoom.
Okay.
whatever's here.
What's
We're
Zoom?
I see all of
Okay.
you. I see we're short of a quorum.
Oh yeah, okay.
4 of us.
1, 2.
How many is a quorum?
We have 4. We have
Oh,
Splend.
I thought it was 5.
No, 4.
Well,
You're
you
good.
learn something every day.
Right? You got to.
Guess you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Well, as soon as the stroke of 2 is, we're going to go.
Okay, sounds good.
I am going to question you, though, on this item 7, because I think it's a bit premature. I mean, I'm here until January.
Oh, you are? I thought it was December 31st. Okay.
January 4th.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Okay.
Mayor's
But there's no reason for me not to be the chair till then.
Not at all. Nope. Okay.
So you guys can deal with it at your January meeting.
Sounds
I
good.
think the mayors are leaving in December, though. I know my last,
Beginning of
Last
December.
yeah.
Okay.
So we'll continue item 7. Is that okay, Rachel?
That's fine by me.
All right, well, Marshawn's here, so now we can start. It's 2 o'clock. I will call this meeting to order. This meeting is being conducted via teleconference. If you had written comments, you need to submit them prior to the deadline of December 11th at 5. Public comments during the meeting will be accepted. And we'll get to all that if you'd like as we move on. So with that, the roll call, please.
Certainly. So Chair Haggerty,
Yes, here.
Vice Chair Splendorio,
Here.
Commissioner Marchand,
I'm here.
Commissioner Thorne,
Here.
Commissioner Miley. Let me double check. Okay, excuse me.
Commissioner Halbert needs to be moved over. He's stuck in attendees. I apologize, Supervisor Halbert.
The panel. Okay, hold on just a
I
second.
can retire comfortably now.
Okay, so I believe Commissioner Miley is on here. If you are on here, Commissioner Miley, please raise your hand. Commissioner Johnson.
I'm here.
Great. Commissioner Wieskamp.
Here.
And Alternate Commissioner Halbert.
Here.
And
Georgine is in attendees also.
oh, she was just moved over. So alternate Commissioner Georgine, or excuse me, Von Heater Leopold, and then we have alternate Commissioner Valle is absent. Please let the record reflect that roll was taken, and we do have a quorum.
All right, that's just wonderful news. Public comment, a time in which you can speak to anything that's not on today's agenda. I see Kelly, I guess you want to speak under public comment. Unmute yourself and do your thing. You got 2 minutes. Please keep the timer, Rachel.
Will do.
Hi, this is Kelly Abreu.
Can you speak up, please, Kelly?
Hi, this is Kelly Abreu. Can you hear me now?
Barely, but go ahead.
Yeah, the Local Agency Formation Commission is looking at forming local agencies in Alameda County. 3 of the agencies that are in Alameda County are Zone 7, East Bay Mud, ACWD, and SFPUC owns a lot of land in Alameda County, in case you haven't noticed. All of those agencies are being tabbed as participating in something called a new Joint Powers Agency. The new Joint Powers Agency is being discussed in December 2020. The goal is to form that Joint Powers Agency to take their money and to coordinate their efforts along with 5 other agencies to build some storage facility at the Los Vaqueros Reservoir. It already exists. It was built in 1997. It was expanded in 2012, and the proposal is to expand it again. This Joint Powers Agency would require money and funding from these local agencies. And I would like to see this local LAFCO and its chair, Supervisor Haggerty, and its vice chair, Mr. Splendorio, Splendorio. I'd like to see them participate and have some say in this Joint Powers Agency. What is what is the need for this Los Vaqueros Reservoir, and how are our local agencies being formed? Why, when these joint power agencies appear, what are they there for? Who's going to pay for them? And what are they doing there? LAFCO is supposed to have a say in all that, and I'd like to see LAFCO start saying something about all that. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you, Kelly.
What, Rachel?
Excuse me, no, just thank the.
Yeah, can you do me a favor and lower his hand? Okay, public comment, that was good. Consent item, A through C. Is there a motion or?
I'll move approval of consent.
I got a motion
Second.
by Marshawn. The second came from Supervisor Halbert. Is that right?
Splendorio.
Splendorio? Oh, okay.
Yep.
Trustee Splendorio. Okay. Is there any comment?
Nope.
Hold on a second, people. I need to shut up a dog. All right.
That'll work.
Did you hear it?
Yeah.
You heard me say that?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I'm looking for does anybody have want to speak on this item? I don't see anybody in the attendees or the panelists, so I can assume that if you didn't receive anything in writing, that we can do a roll call vote.
Excuse me, yes. So we have Chair Haggerty,
Yes.
Commissioner Splendorio,
Aye.
Commissioner Marchand,
Aye.
Commissioner Thorne,
Aye.
Commissioner Miley, Commissioner Johnson,
Aye.
and Commissioner Wieskamp.
Aye.
All right, let the record reflect that the motion passes.
Thank you very much. We'll go to item 5, which is our budget update.
Thank you, Chair. So this is just a simple report back comparing budgeted to actual transactions for the fiscal year 2020-2021, and this is through the first quarter. Actual expenses processed through the first 4 months totaled around $92,000, and this amount represents around 14% of the budget total. And this is again with the first quarter of the fiscal year. So another update is the commission has received about 76% of the agency apportionments to date for our funding, and an additional invoice to the remaining agencies that will be forwarded from the county auditor's office. But for the most part, we're fine, we're good to go. And we're ultimately on target with this year's first quarter projections. And that is all for my update.
All right, he's still barking, so he's not listening to me. Are there anybody have any questions?
No.
For our executive director? Anybody in the public wish to speak? Okay, well then, can I get a motion to accept and file on this?
So Mo,
Second.
Was it Georgine?
I'll give it to Johnson.
Hold on, you two. The motion was Georgine?
I think
Yeah.
it was,
It was
Okay, and then I got my Sean, or was it Ann? Who was it?
Ann made the motion.
Ann made the motion, Marshawn second. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
absolutely. So we have Chair Haggerty,
Yes.
Commissioner Splendorio,
Yes.
Marshawn,
Yes.
Thorne,
Aye.
Miley, absent, Johnson,
Yes.
and Wieskamp.
yes.
So let the record reflect that that motion passes.
Thank you. We're going to go to item 6, but before we do, I just want to, for the record, note that Carl Winte's on, and I'm sure he's going to help in the presentation of the Wine Growers Association. But Carl is a proud new papa, and seen pictures of the beautiful little baby, and also you make a damn good wine. So hopefully when I retire, there'll be a bottle on my desk. But no, I'm just kidding. Congratulations to you, Carl. All right, with that, I am going to turn this over to the wine growers, Christine Chandler.
So Christine, let me unmute you. There we go.
Christine, you need to unmute. *6, yeah.
Just Chris. Sorry about that. Thank you for inviting the wine growers to participate today. I think that to begin, we have a short video that we were going to show, if that's still available. If not, I know that Carl, who is the chair of our Government Affairs Committee, has prepared a PowerPoint to talk you through some important things that the wine growers is working on.
Well, hopefully we can see both, because I'm sure the video is very good. Do we have the video?
I do have the video, so I will share my screen and then press play. Are we able to see it? No?
No, we see the thing on the agenda,
Oh, you got to click on it. There's a,
the link.
yeah,
Oh,
click
here
on the
we go.
link. That's
Got
there.
it. Can you
There
see
we
it
go.
now?
Yeah.
You
Yes.
see some of it. There you go.
Perfect.
Just a few miles off the California coast, directly west of the San Francisco Bay,
Yeah,
we are riding a lively summer breeze that is moving inland.
I'll have Rachel do it.
Our extraordinary journey follows the maritime breeze east toward the Livermore Valley, a unique grape-growing region where the climate is directly influenced by cool air from the Pacific Ocean. This maritime breeze gives the Livermore Valley its temperate climate. During the summer, California's coastal waters are actually colder than the Atlantic Ocean. This is due to two factors. The cold water current from the north flows parallel to the coast of Oregon and California, and the phenomenon of upwelling that occurs in the summer causes colder water from the ocean's depths to rise to the surface. This combination of the California current and upwelling creates another favorable influence along Northern California's coast. Fog. In the early hours of warm summer days, fog moves inland, bringing cool air to the coastal valleys, including the vineyards in the Livermore Valley. These remarkable climatic conditions inspired the quote by American author Mark Twain, rumored to say, "The coldest winter I ever spent was a summer in San Francisco." This type of Mediterranean climate is known to be favorable for the production of fine wines. California is one of just a few wine-growing regions worldwide to be favored with these conditions, enjoying a temperate climate influenced by sea breezes. Other regions blessed with this climate include southern Italy, Spain, the central coast of Chile, the tip of South Africa, and parts of southwestern Australia. In the San Francisco Bay Area, there are several historic wine regions, including Livermore Valley, Napa Valley, and Sonoma. The Livermore Valley is characterized by two geographic factors. First, it is the only coastal valley directly east of the San Francisco Bay. In addition, while most other valleys in California lie on a north-south axis, Livermore Valley's east-west positioning allows it to receive the unique benefit of daily maritime breezes flowing inland from the Pacific Ocean. This orientation and proximity to the bay allows cool air to flow easily into the valley. Following the breeze eastward, we fly over canyons and creeks, finally passing over the side of hilly ridges to enter the Livermore Valley appellation. The valley floor of the region is higher than many coastal valleys in California, which enhances the temperate effect of the maritime climate. Temperatures decrease as elevation increases. Simply put, elevation moderates climate. When a typical summer day begins in the Bay Area, temperatures in the coastal valleys are usually similar to the ocean and bay temperatures. After the sun has been up for a few hours, the Central Valley warms up significantly, triggering the daily maritime breeze. As inland temperatures increase, the rising air causes atmospheric low pressure, pulling the colder air mass from above the ocean and bay across the Livermore Valley, replacing the warm air of the Central Valley. This causes a cool down, or natural air conditioning. The daily temperature variation favors wine quality due to the balance between vine photosynthesis during the day and respiration during the night. Livermore Valley grapes develop sugar, color, aroma, and flavor while maintaining natural acids, vital to a well-balanced wine. From the first bud break in the spring to harvest in the fall, Livermore Valley growers closely monitor the development of their grapes. While climate is the main factor regulating the tempo of grape growth for any given grape variety, the topography of the terrain, soil, and farming techniques also play key roles. The interaction of these factors is complex, controlling the character and quality of the wines. The French refer to this as goût de terroir, or taste of the land. Terroir expresses a sense of place, as local conditions of land, climate, culture, and technique create attributes specific to a region. Influenced by the gravelly, well-drained soils, the relative high altitude of the valley, and the daily cooling summer breezes, Livermore Valley grapes yield deeply colored, elegant red wines with complex fruit character, structured tannins, and a long, pleasant finish, with the promise of aging for many years in the bottle. The white wines are equally well-balanced, with subtle yet complex aromas and flavors, and a firm, rounded impression on the palate. Livermore Valley is celebrated as one of the oldest wine regions in California, and is recognized for introducing a diverse mix of grape varietals from France, Germany, Italy, and Spain. Vineyard growth began in the region in 1882, when Charles Whitmore, secretary of the California Viticultural Commission, opened his Cresta Blanca winery in Livermore. He recognized that the valley's terroir was strikingly similar to the premier vineyards of Bordeaux. In 1889, he stunned the world as Wetmore's Livermore Valley Dry White Wine won the Grand Prix at the International Paris Exposition, becoming the first California wine to win a competition in France. In 1883, two other viticulture pioneers, Carl H. Wente and James Concannon, also purchased prime acreage in the Livermore Valley. Wente Vineyards and Concannon Vineyard have become legendary trailblazers in the California wine industry. Wente Vineyards is the pioneer of California Chardonnay. With fruit from the 1936 vintage, Wente released the nation's first bottling with the varietal name Chardonnay printed on the label. Today, Chardonnay is the #1 wine grape in California, with over 100,000 acres planted, the majority of which are either the distinguished Wente Clone 4 or another of the esteemed Wente Chardonnay clones. Concannon Vineyard is the pioneer of California Cabernet Sauvignon and Petite Syrah. In 1961, Concannon introduced America's first varietally labeled Petite Syrah. The celebrated Concannon Cabernet clones 7, 8, and 11 helped California Cabernet achieve international recognition and are still the most widely planted Cabernet clones in California. In the last 30 years, important changes in the Livermore Valley have added a new dimension to the history of the region. A modern read of the topography has shown a change in the planting of vineyards. Growers are moving beyond traditional sites on the valley floor to the rolling hills that surround the valley. New irrigation technology has made it possible to nurture vines in hillside locations that were previously difficult to cultivate. Along with the new hillside plantings, growers and winemakers have also expanded beyond the more familiar Bordeaux and Rhone varietals, working with new grape varieties such as Tempranillo from Spain, Barbera from Italy, and Touriga from Portugal. Livermore Valley's unique orientation and coastal location are expressed across various microclimates. This topography, combined with the skill of the vintners, allows us to successfully grow and produce a wide range of quality red and white wines. The future of Livermore Valley is bright, as promising as it was when the first growers settled here in the early days of California's winemaking history. This is the taste of our terroir, and the reason wine growers have farmed Livermore Valley for generations.
Great.
All right, Carl, I guess it's up to you now.
Right on. I'm going to share my screen. Oops, that's not what I want to do. Share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
See it.
Okay, so I will try and move through this, as I know everyone has busy schedule and there is a real phenomenon known as Zoom fatigue, which we all have. Thank you all so much for having us here. Thank you all for what you do. To the elected officials, thank you for serving the greater community. To the staff of the government, I appreciate what you do, of the people, for the people, by the people. Appreciate it very much. Ultimately, the takeaway from that video is world class, world class, world class. There's not a lot of landmass on this earth that you say is world class, great region for Vitis vinifera, and we are so blessed to have that right here. Please advance. Okay, so work through some notes on our history and then just talking about wine country planning and collaboration and how we're moving forward. So notes on the history, I think the video really did it well, so I'll just bust through this with Robert Livermore in the 40s, Charles Wetmore, my great-great-grandfather, C.H. Wente, and James Concannon. Again, first international gold medal from California, from the state of California. It came out of the Livermore Valley. And the pioneers said they recognized warm days, cool nights, deep gravelly soils, place for growing grapes. Through Prohibition, you know, people said we're the oldest family owned and operated winery in California. Same family, same winery, same vintages all the way through. How the hell did you survive Prohibition? Well, the Catholic Church had contracts with us, or we had contracts with the Catholic Church, and communion went up by a large volume, obviously, based on how much wine they pulled through. But ultimately, post-Prohibition, it was a great competitive advantage for my family because most other wineries have been shut down, and the hoses, the pumps, the presses, everything had been shut down, whereas we had been in operation all the way through, came out varietally labeled, right? First to put those varietals on the label and really drove forward who and what we are. Kincannon, across the street neighbors that my family's grown up with over the generations. And in 1981, Livermore Valley Wine Growers Association was formed. And during Prohibition, 5,000 acres of grapes and 50 wineries in Prohibition. Post-Prohibition, only 12 remained. And again, that Sacramento wine really enabled us to keep on clicking through. You go to the 60s through the 80s, you know, there were 1,500 acres planted, 6 wineries, right? It's really on its way down. And there was a point where my family was strongly considering with the urban encroachment and the urban pressure, should we be in Livermore? And that's when we invested down to Arroyo Seco in Monterey County, because just flat worried about there's more money growing houses in the fields and just that encroachment there. But I'm really glad we stuck to our guns and really ultimately glad that the South Valley plan, South Valley area plan, South Valley specific plan came into being to really try and drive us back towards what we're shooting for of 5,000 acres and now the 50 wineries that we have here today. So the Livermore Valley AVA was formed in 1982. And I think it's important. Can you guys see my mouse on the screen or no?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So I think it's important to know for our AVA, that's the point, that's the peak of Mount Diablo at 3,800 feet. And it comes down around the range on the west side, down around, and then the Diablo range on the east side. And I think it's very important to note that this is the Tri-Valley, the Livermore Valley, the Amador Valley, and the San Ramon Valley. And so our AVA is larger than Livermore, the Livermore Valley itself. I'll get more to that later. 1993, 13 wineries. Now, 2003, 25 wineries, and to date, 50 wineries. So there has been the resurgence of wineries. That said, there has not been as much of a resurgence of outside investment coming in as there could be. Some challenges with infrastructure, some challenges with Measure D, some challenges with just the cost of farming, the cost of doing business in the area. That said, it's a great place to grow grapes, but our acres under vine are decreasing, right? And the South Valley plan is the preservation mechanism for the south side of Livermore. And we'll get in some poll numbers that show how much the population of Livermore really appreciates and loves their wine region. So South Valley specific plan, City of Livermore, South Valley area plan, Alameda County. South Valley's rural and agricultural heritage was at risk due to urban sprawl. A 4-year effort to create a plan and a framework to bring that plan together. The result, complex settlement agreement that launched the cooperative planning process and an innovative conservation mechanism to curb the sprawl and to keep agriculture at the center of our community, right? The City of Livermore, the 3 emblems that we have on the city mark is paying homage to the lab, paying homage to the wineries, and paying homage to the cowboys and the stockmen. Ultimately, the South Valley area plan envisioned a return to the 5,000 acres. And as stated, we're going in the opposite direction. The Tri-Valley Conservancy, which was the land trust that was formed out of the South Valley area plan, is commissioned an economic study of the area and the plan. And it's coming back. There have been some preliminary results, is that fundamentally people are struggling. And this is a pre-COVID phenomenon. So we're not going to say we're struggling because of COVID. People are struggling worse due to COVID. However, the sort of investment, the amenities, the restaurants, and most importantly, heads and beds. The guest check average in wine country goes up more than any other industry when people spend the night. Because you come for music, you buy dinner, you get wine, you take wine, you go home, you rent bikes, you get a picnic, you go to the deli. You know, it's so if we get beds in, or if we get heads in beds, Livermore Downtown Hotel, but there's also been the discussions of, or I believe that Resort Hotel is referenced in some of the language of the specific plan and the area plan. Also, there were the predetermined catalyst sites within those plans for various reasons, for various uses, and very few of those have come to fruition. And so really want to try and execute this plan. It was a good plan. That said, it hasn't been executed to its fullest. So Livermore Valley Wine Country Planning Collaboration, 50 wineries from 100 case labors of love to 400,000 case heavyweights, plus or minus 2,500. Again, that's on its way down. 3,000 vineyard acres, they're not all vineyards obviously because the math doesn't work, are preserved in perpetuity with the Tri-Valley Conservancy. And as Chris, or as the video mentioned, we plant across a wide range of varietals. Just at Wente Vineyard, we're farming Cabernet Sauvignon, Cabernet Franc, Merlot, Petit Verdot, Malbec, Tempranillo, Trigo Nacional, Trigo Francesca, Suzal, Viognier, Syrah, Grenache, Graciano, Orange Muscat, Muscat Canelli, Nebbiolo, Barbera, Zinfandel, Chardonnay, Riesling, Gewürztraminer, right? A whole lot. Some of those Riesling and Gewürztraminer were only grown in Arroyo Seco, and we're talking about Livermore, but ultimately the diversity of this region, again, born by warm days, cool nights, deep gravelly soil, make it an exceptional place. So the Livermore Valley Wine Growers Association, to be a nationally recognized quality wine region, and was on the call this morning with all of our sales leaders. And, fundamentally, there's a reality to the fact that you go to Brooklyn, not a lot of people think of Livermore as a wine country. They know Napa, they know Sonoma, they might know Paso, might know Monterey, but ultimately to just tell the story of who we are is the mission of the Wine Growers Association. Preserve, protect, promote. So the South Valley Area Plan, Measure D, and infrastructure needs. One of the major challenges as you go down Tesla Road, sort of the core in there is having wastewater, having a sewer, having human waste being taken away, and whether you're dealing with regional water boards or dealing with trying to get septics in, get something done, it's really been an impediment to investment here in our area. Also, Measure D, the floor area ratio. Like we have a building envelope that says the building envelope's this big, and that was put in the documentation of the easements that went in with when we put land in with the Tri-Valley Conservancy, a 2-acre home envelope and an 8-acre building envelope. But then Measure D, which came after the South Valley Plan, comes in with an FAR that's sort of restricting the development of bringing outsiders in to continue to enable the success of our region. And the drive to 5,000 acres means we need winery and wine capacity in order to process all of those needs. As mentioned, the Tri-Valley Conservancy has commissioned a study with UC Davis just to study the economics of the vineyards in the wine region in Livermore. And coming back, like the fact that you see the vines pulled out of the ground is an answer, and that vines aren't going back in is an answer. And so it's a critical junction right now for us as a region, as there's a lot of economic struggles out there to remain competitive here. Also, I'll talk a little bit in a second about the AVA renaming, because as I mentioned, the Livermore Valley as the name for that triangle that starts at the peak of Mount Diablo and goes down both of the ridges, that's misnamed, right? It is not the Livermore Valley. It is the Livermore Valley. Sorry. It is a mix of, I have to do what Mr. Haggerty did real quick. Hey.
Oh, your dog's bigger than mine.
My dog's a big boy. But the AVA name is really the Tri-Valley, the watersheds of the 3 Tri-Valleys. And then also the Growers Association is looking.
Your dog doesn't like this, Carl.
No,
doesn't like changing the Livermore Valley.
Someone just drove up, and it's my alarm clock and my. Okay, so then the Wine Heritage District is something that we're moving forward on the Explore phase, and the Wine Heritage District will effectively, it's like transit occupancy tax to put a small little piece on every bottle that goes through our area to then come back and fund the association to continue the marketing efforts to tell our story of who we are. So infrastructure needs, right? The underground utilities, the sewer connections, and accommodations. Those are the biggest thing is the impediments to getting it done besides the floor area ratio within Measure D in order to bring outside investors and to keep the high tide raising all ships. And so God willing, we're have the process moving forward to underground utilities down Tesla Road to Greenville. And I know there's people on this call that know a lot more about this. I'm a lot more about this subject than myself in terms of the overall process moving forward. But it is needed infrastructure, and South Valley Area Plan certainly references. I apologize. Hang on.
I want to meet the dog now.
Alrighty. So the South Valley Plan references it, and then again the accommodation, the heads in beds, high tide raises all ships. They come, they enjoy our arts, they enjoy our restaurants, they enjoy our awesome community. They'll enjoy Science and Society Center downtown, our Livermore Shakespeare Festival, our great Bankhead Theater, all of those things. Talked about the vineyard economics. There's headwinds everywhere. Headwinds of the state of California doing business, headwinds of overtime laws, minimum wage laws, headwinds of getting the labor that you need to get the job done because vines are high touch items. There's headwinds with the Zone 7 water rates coming forward. But ultimately, very much looking forward to the UC Davis study coming to completion. We can throw out there to say, hey, this isn't working, and if we want the South Valley to be a conservation strategy to remain the beautiful open space that we have, the quality of life that we have, we need to continue to support it and nurture it. Today, County Public Works Agency is updating its bike and pedestrian master plan. There are microbrewery ordinances in the works to promote and encourage more agricultural products as the current ordinance does for wine and olives. County is reviewing definition of a winery as it relates to conditional use permits in that process. Again, you'll hear me say it 10 times in this presentation, heads in beds is a good thing for wine country and for all of the amenities and economics surrounding wine country. So a survey was commissioned by the Livermore Valley Wine Growers Association and up to 406 interviewees conducted March 15th or 10 to 15th online, landline cells. Fielding began as the stock market became volatile in reaction to COVID-19, but it took place before shelter in place went in. Margin of error, blah, blah. You guys have all seen surveys before. But fundamentally, this was asking residents of Livermore, what do you think about your wine country next door? And you see those positives, positives overall. Vineyards do add to open space, quality of life, personal values, local economy, Livermore's reputation as a destination, right? A huge amount of positives. Yeah, there are concerns on local water supplies and there's concerns on traffic. And when there's an accident, I live on Tesla Road. And when there's an accident on 580, you know it because Tesla Road is backed up from Greenville all the way into town. So there's some concern there, but overall, the positivity of the citizens of Livermore appreciate the South Valley area, wine country, who we are and what we have. In a few words, why do you support the proposal? People want that extend, improve the waste and the sewage service. People recognize wineries are good for the economy, the art shops downtown, the restaurants, the arts that we have, good for the community, and you can see. As we know, the city currently has an urban growth boundary which prohibits the extending the sewer outside of city limits. Vineyard wineries, we're limited without that sewer, and do an on-site sewage treatment. And it makes it prohibitively expensive. Getting septics done with regional water board and the likes has proven challenging as well. And I think everybody from the foundation of the plan, and my uncle Phil Wente is my consigliere and teacher in a lot of this, and everybody envisioned that this would get done as part of the completion of the South Valley area plan. And then again, on site, I mentioned with the septic and just the challenges of getting it through government, state of California, Alameda County and the likes to get that done. So having that sewer line extended will be good for our region. Again, not looking to grow houses in the field, looking to make the wineries successful and have like certain amenities. God forbid there's a cool little restaurant like you have in Napa Valley that are just out there, they're destination locations, world-class stuff, as we have world-class climate and we make world-class wines. Okay, so Mount Diablo Highlands. And ultimately, this is the peak of Mount Diablo. And as you could see, you heard in the video, the Highlands Valley. And so one of the things that we looked at, we got a grant from the CDFA, and the grant from the CDFA laid out some of the regionality and the districts associated with our region. And one of the things we're looking at doing is naming our region appropriately. This line around our region, that as Mount Diablo Highlands, the Highlands coming off on the south side of Mount Diablo, and then renaming the watershed of the Livermore Valley, appropriately naming the Livermore Valley. So you don't lose the Livermore Valley name, but the Livermore Valley is geographically accurate of the watershed of the Livermore Valley. And then you name the rest of this Mount Diablo Highlands as it literally is a highland valley. And you can see not a lot of it is fundamentally valley floor. We are higher than the Santa Lucia Highlands, and something that's more geographically accurate as it points to our Mount Diablo peak starting right there. And then the Wine Heritage District, as discussed, there was a steering committee established, reaching out to the local wineries and trying to get tax data and the likes so we can get this set up. Overwhelming support in the Growers Association and the wineries. There's obviously not everybody loves it because you can look at this as a tax, but fundamentally the consumer has an added on, just like your transit occupancy tax that we're all used to. And this goes towards funding, telling our story in order to continue to sell wine, not just when customers come to the Livermore Valley, but also throughout the country. So Doug Paulding, wine journalist, it's clear the entire region is in a collaborative path to excellence. And that's a great quote. If someone comes in and gets to know us here, we do believe high tide raises all ships. We do believe in the power of collaboration and working together. And that's working together with government agencies, non-government agencies, working with different industries, if you will, in terms of arts and entertainment, in terms of the restaurants and the likes, but fundamentally just making it a great place to be and a great place to live, great place to ride your bikes through on the pass, great place to ride your horses through as we see it, and just a great place to sit back, enjoy a world-class meal and some world-class wine. And isn't that a beautiful picture? That is the Hayes Ranch on Marina Avenue is right behind us, the corner of Marina and Wetmore right there. So people have said I can talk fast when I want to, and I wanted to get through the presentation, deliver sort of some of the stuff that we're looking at, and Chris and I are open to taking any questions, comments.
Thank you, Carla. We appreciate the report. I was going to ask you a question, what can we do? But I think you've already kind of laid it out that there's still a lot of work to do. And, I think it's really difficult, some of the things you guys have to do just to make fine wine. The septic issue, the discharge, zero discharge by the state of California, everything that goes on. I did want to ask you one quick question, though, before I go to the rest of the panel. And again, I look forward to the day that I can go to your restaurant and stay it full and have a pork chop and maybe listen to a band after that. And I hope that we can get there soon, because you guys are, your family, all of them are an asset to our community. The winery is an asset, and I just wanted to thank you first. But you had mentioned that little tax on the bottles, and I have to be honest with you. I know that Sean and I both worked on it very hard. Did we finally ever get that through County Council?
Chris, yeah.
No, and Thank you for all the effort and energy that you put in for us getting that data. We tried it sort of several different ways and weren't able to get it, so we're going about it a little bit differently. But I will say that once that is complete, we will be coming back to the Board of Supervisors and asking for your support. We have to get a resolution approved by the Board of Supervisors to move this forward. It is part of the process that was enacted in the California law establishing these special business improvement districts. So we will be back after the first of the year. I know Supervisor Haggerty, we will miss you, but we welcome the new Supervisor Hobart, and happy to answer any questions because we really need your support in moving this forward.
Yeah, you know, that's really disappointing to me. And Carl, maybe next week you and I and Sean can talk, because, you know, this was really, and I'll just be honest, County Council really made this whole thing difficult. And you know, I at least need to get more information on that, because, you know, we have to get better. We have to get better as a county in how we refer to, you know, look at economic development. You know, we act like we want all this open space. It's got to be viable agriculture, and yet we do everything we can to make agriculture, make it difficult for those who are planting grapes, olives. We have a new crop coming up, you know, which I won't go into. But, you know, and we make it completely difficult. And really, David, you're going to have your hands full on that. It's something that Sean and I have been fighting. And don't smile, because it's not going to be fun. But, you know, it's something that, you know, I have fought with County Council over. And actually, I want to find out where the breakdown was on that tax, because I'll tell you what, if I can get it done by just taking it to the Board of Supervisors and going around County Council, that's what I'm going to do. And I don't care if County Council sits there and says, I don't recommend it because I couldn't walk it to death. You know, so I'm sorry. And I was afraid of your answer because I didn't remember voting on it. But let me see if I can get that done before Supervisor Halbert comes in and takes all the credit.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, are there
I'm up for that.
Any other questions of Carl? If so, just kind of raise your hand. Go
Just
ahead, Ann.
How large would this district be? I don't think most of us have a concept.
That's a good, go ahead.
It would encompass the map that Carl had up earlier that showed the boundaries of the American viticultural area. It would be that same geographic boundary.
Okay.
Good question.
Okay, I know that retired Mayor Marchand wants to go next.
You talk about the need for a hotel, and God knows I've been working on a hotel. But I'm very, very happy that after all these years, it looks like we've got 3 hotels coming in. We got the one hotel that a small group spent $2 million trying to stop going into our downtown. We've got the Wine Country Inn, which now has a lawsuit pending against it. But now we've also got Crowhair, which is, I'm very excited about. I have been working on that since I was on Zone 7, 25 years ago. So it's not for lack of trying, but it looks like we're starting to finally to get there. So I'm very excited, and we just got to keep this thing moving. I will say that that the Mount Diablo Highland AVA is kind of wordy. It's not quite doesn't fall off the tongue as easily as Livermore Valley, but however we can continue to market this region, that's what we need to do.
Yeah, and the key, thank you so much. And thank you, Mr. Mayor, for your hard work and dedication to the city, our region, and to that hotel. Very much appreciated. And I think the key with AVAs is their concentric circles, right? And so you still get Livermore Valley. You could put that on the label just the same. And then Mount Diablo Highlands, you know, Santa Rita Hills is successful, Santa Lucia Highlands successful, and the like. So feedback taken, but I really like it.
Okay, then I'll support it.
Thank you.
Glenn?
Yeah, this is a question for Chris and Carl. You showed on there that the South Livermore Plan was approved in 1997. Have there been any updates to it? Are there supposed to be any updates or look backs? And what happened? If that happened yet?
I think that is a good question, and yes, there are supposed to be periodic retrospects and the looks, and South Valley specific plan, I believe, and South Valley area plan, I have a high level of confidence that that's supposed to be taking place, but I believe in both of them are there as their conjoined documents to a certain degree. So I believe Splen might have asked this question because of that answer and the prompting along for the elected officials here, that part of the wording of those two documents is county, city of Livermore and Alameda County are supposed to be doing that on a regular basis to say, how is this working? How is this going? And to my knowledge, over the course of the 25 years or so, that has not happened. So I would encourage those in power that can influence such things, I'd encourage you to lean in on that one.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I just want to say that I found the presentation to be very informative. And, you know, I've been in solidarity with Supervisor Haggerty on these matters, and I'll continue to be supportive of Supervisor-elect Halbert as well. This is Nate Miley, County Supervisor.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Supervisor Miley.
Hey, Carl and Chris, you had me at Cabernet. And so from the very beginning, I was with you, and I want to thank you for both. I've seen parts of this presentation before. You've been at this for a long time. You're headed in the right direction. We will continue to support you. I will continue to support you, following in the footsteps of Supervisor Haggerty. And wherever he ends up, I'll pick up and continue. Because this is a long range opportunity for us. And I will tell you, I think the preservation of all ag in Alameda County is important to me, and that lives mostly in East County. So high on my radar screen, and just want to say that none of us can do it alone. We can only do it together. And so let's lock arms and get it done. I'm all ears. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chris, Carl, any final thoughts? Are you good?
Thanks again for having us, giving us the opportunity.
Very much appreciated. Thank you so much for all what you do. Congratulations, Commissioner Halbert, on your victory.
Moving on up.
Thank you so much, Carl and Chris.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to move to item 7. You know, I'm going to take a stab at this and just see, how long have I been doing this? A year?
23 years.
No, the chairmanship.
Oh, I would say it's been, yeah, it'll be a year and a half probably.
So why don't we just do this? Since Halbert's obviously going to get this, and why don't we just go ahead and make Halbert the, because he's never been the chair, I don't believe. Why don't at January 4th at 12:01 make him the chairman of LAFCO?
According to LAFCO policies, because we have a rotation with the chair, it would go county.
Right, but it's the county's turn. That's why I'm saying I'm trying to keep it with the county for the next 6 months.
Possibly it's just in our policy, it would be the vice chair that gets that remainder of the term.
Or if he turns it down.
Or if he turns it down.
I just don't know why we can't. I don't know why we're being so difficult. Why can't we just say January 4th, 12:01, Howard becomes the chair, and then when that term is up, you can either reappoint him or Splen can ascend or whatever.
I will refer to legal on this, given that that's LAFCO policy.
I know what they'll say.
There's legal.
And that is in your bylaws that it would go to the vice chair unless the vice chair declines the appointment. So you'd have to amend your bylaws to do differently.
It says that the vice chair declines, the vacancy shall be filled for the remainder of the term by election.
Correct.
Splen, do you want it for 6 months or what?
Well, I'm gonna do it for 2 years, starting in May anyway. How about let's see. I don't know procedurally how this is. You're technically the chair until January 4th, right? So
Yeah.
so why don't we figure out how? I'm happy if Dave would like to do it for the few months. Why don't we figure out how we procedurally do that? How do I? Because I mean, I can't decline because you're still on. I don't think so. But I'm happy to do it once we figure it out. If we do it on January 4th or the first meeting, we can do that. Does that make sense?
All right. Yeah, Splend, you know what? This got far more difficult than I ever thought it could be. I mean, we're just talking about somebody that runs a meeting, but that's okay. You know, I'm chair through January 4th at 12 o'clock. That's your following LAFCO meeting. You guys can figure out what you want to do. I was trying to make it easy.
Okay. Well, appreciate that. I mean, I'm happy to do it. I'm happy
Government,
to do it.
Why we never get anything done. Okay, so we'll continue this item until our next meeting. Are there any matters initiated?
Mr. Chair, that there was in the chat, someone in the audience indicated he wanted to speak on item 6.
I'm sorry, I don't look at chats because I feel that the chats are a violation. And I know that I just don't look at them. But there he is, Kelly Abreu. Do you want to say something on item 7?
Yes, I'm speaking on item 6, the Wine Growers Association. I'd like to first give a nod to the immigrants from France in the 1880s who came and built this industry in the result of a disastrous fungal infection, almost like a pandemic of the vines in France. So they came here to Livermore and they grew grapes. They started this industry. And then I'd also like to proceed with Mark Twain. Mark Twain said, it's not since we have a dog, it's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog. And he also said, whenever you find yourself on the side of the majority, it's time to pause and reflect. And when we're talking about this industry and where it's going, we need to pause and reflect whether we've been doing the right thing with that microbrewery ordinance. We had some private legal counsel and the county council in 2013 putting in special purpose legislation that was getting drafted in 2013 and it didn't get passed until 2018. And that microbrewery ordinance did not do any favors for the Wine Growers Association. What they told you today is very important. They're telling you the need for concentration, the need for excellence, the need for facilities like sewers, like tourism facilities, marketing. All this needs concentration. It needs a concentrated effort, and spreading out this industry everywhere is going to go at cross purposes to the real needs of this Wine Growers Association. They have to really buckle down and get that Livermore Valley, South Livermore Valley, working at peak efficiency. And that's not going to happen by dissipation and through loosening up this microbrewery ordinance to let the hinterlands be covered with competing vineyards that have sub-quality septic systems. Thank you.
I totally disagree with you. Nate, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to also mention that I'm asking the executive director, Rachel, to attend the Ag Committee meeting that I hold in the unincorporated area, because folks are very interested in discussing rural infrastructure and disaster preparedness for the rural areas. So I just wanted to mention that to the LAFCO Commission.
Thank you, Commissioner Miley, and I'd be happy to attend.
Yeah, I think that, still being the supervisor though, I'm I'm not real happy that if you guys can go ahead and do what you want in Castro Valley, but if you start getting into my district, you better include me, or you better include the new supervisor, because I'm not going to have a bunch of people from Oakland and Castro Valley telling me what I'm going to do down here in the Tri-Valley.
Oh yeah, I'm sure whatever we come up with, I would confer with you and or
Well, I think
Supervisor-elect
the
Halbert.
minute, Nate, one of you utter the word Livermore, Pleasanton, Dublin, or Tri-Valley, you better start including the supervisors.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Because, you know,
And
I've been
probably
also
what it-
talking, you talk about like emergency evacuation, things like that. And, you know, I've been talking to the chief about doing drills in the Sunol area. I've been talking about doing drills in the Castlewood area, which is your district. I mean, I agree with you. There's a lot we need to do, but I'm just not going to have it be a one-sided thing coming from the north part of the county. But you can fight that out with Halbert.
Well, I just want to say, Commissioner, Chair, Your Honor, I will not be doing anything, and you know me, I will not do anything without conferring with you and or the supervisor-elect. So rest assured, whatever we do, I would want to be in alignment with you and the supervisor-elect.
I just want to show you something, Nate. Can you see that?
No, I see Jerry.
Well, what I'm showing you is how much longer I have. So whatever you do after
52 days, 21 hours, 2 minutes and 40 seconds.
There you go. Thank you. So, okay. There was something I wanted to say. Oh, you know, I don't know. I just don't want to take. It's somebody's. I think Mr. Abreu alluded to the fact that it was the French that developed our, and maybe Marchand would be happy to hear that. But you know, I don't want to take anything away from the good old Irishmen of Kincannon, and I don't know what the lineage is of the Wentes. I'm sure you do, John.
Germans, Wente.
Yeah, and then you know, but you know, I don't know how we give all the credit to the French, but I'm not going to even go there.
And phylloxera is a root louse. It's not a fungus.
Huh?
And phylloxera is a root louse, not a fungus.
There you go. Thank you. I'm happy that I feel educated now. Thank you.
Got to keep it right.
All right. So we did a matters initiated. The wheels came off the bus. I'm going to go to Wieskamp.
I would like to ask if we could consider getting some kind of report on Measure D, because I've got to have an effect on what the vineyards are trying to do. I think it would help LAFCO if we could better understand that sometime in the future. That's the discretion of the rest of the group.
Yeah. Measure D?
Yeah.
I think, didn't we talk about that extensively at a retreat?
I think I want to understand the connection and how it affects each other, if possible. But
I think that's a great idea, because I think Carl brought up a great issue about how the state wants zero discharge out of the wineries, and it's extremely hard to get there on a septic tank.
Yeah.
So I think it is a great discussion, and I'm sure that will happen after 52 days. But Rachel, if you could put that on your calendar to deal with that, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Executive officers report.
Thank you, Chair. So I just want to give a little brief update. This is very preliminary talks right now, but staff were talking with Marin LAFCO, Napa LAFCO, and Orange LAFCO on conducting a joint regional workshop. We will discuss probably broad topics affecting LAFCOs. Hopefully, it will allow for commissioners and new commissioners to discuss kind of issues that LAFCOs are facing on the horizon and share ideas. Currently, the executive officers from each LAFCO, myself included, we're working together to create an agenda and find a facilitator. Nothing is confirmed as of yet, but if all LAFCOs agree, we expect to hold a workshop sometime in February or March, and I will provide information, most likely maybe through the chair, and confirmation, hopefully, fingers crossed, at our January meeting.
Excellent idea, Rachel. Great job. And I would only suggest that maybe you should reach out to those that border us, which is like San Joaquin and Contra Costa. But I think that's a great idea. I applaud you for coming up with that.
Thank you.
Anybody else on that?
Yeah, I was just going to ask if it included the those LAFCOs that border Alameda County. Okay.
All right.
We're trying to get more.
All right. Anybody else on this? Okay, I'm going to go to the informational items.
Thank you. So we have received, LAFCO has received one new proposal since our last meeting, and this is from a landowner in the unincorporated community adjacent, still unincorporated, not Happy Valley official, but in that area. It's located at 720 Mockingbird Lane. The purpose of the proposal is for this landowner to connect to water and wastewater due to an old on-site well and septic system. And right now the proposal is currently under administrative review, and we'll see, most likely it might be presented at our next meeting for commission action. And then on our progress report and work plan, I would like to highlight that staff has posted the job announcement, and we're opening up for the commission clerk position, and we expect to fulfill that position in January. I don't know if it'll be at our next regular meeting, but I definitely think we'll hire someone at our January meeting, or in January, excuse me, and I would hope that they can, that you can meet them at our January meeting. And this is, I'm very excited about this, and this is one big item for staff underway on our work plan. And for the update on the countywide water, wastewater, stormwater, and flood control municipal service review, we're still waiting some comments from the affected agencies in regards to edits to the MSR. Most have been sent to QK Associates, and we are still on target for a public draft at our next regular meeting. And lastly, on the informational item, Cal LAFCO, they have a coastal region virtual roundtable and webinar that they're offering. For the virtual roundtable for the coastal region, that will give the opportunity for LAFCOs to discuss and hear kind of what we faced through the year, how we're coping, you know, what have we learned. The roundtable, and this roundtable is usually offered at the annual conferences. So now, with this, anyone on the commission can join, and we can discuss with other LAFCOs in that coastal region. And that roundtable is scheduled for Thursday, December 10th from 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. And the meeting information can be found on the agenda, but please feel free to contact me offline for that information, and maybe I'll just forward it to the commission right after this. And Cal LAFCO also has a webinar scheduled for Monday, December 7th from 1:30 p.m. to 3 p.m. And then this is discussing LAFCO's critical role moving forward, dealing with the pandemic and everything. So for that one, you have to register by November 30th. Again, this information is in the packet, and I will forward that to you most likely after the meeting or tomorrow if you're interested.
Okay. Any questions on this? I'll see if anybody's raising their hand. Nate, are you raising your hand?
No.
Okay. Maybe you could lower his hand for me, Rachel. I remembered what I wanted to say to the last speaker. You know, when we do things in my office, it's not our first rodeo. And, you know, the first place we stopped when we did the microbrewery ordinance was with the Wine Growers Association, who supported the microbrewery ordinance overwhelmingly. So I just hate it when people get on and try to rewrite history and it doesn't get rebutted. But it just was. Okay, we'll move to item 11. Right. The commission will recognize Thorne, Marchand, and Haggerty for their distinguished and remarkable service to Alameda LAFCO.
So I hate to do it like this. And before I begin, David, I want to recognize you as well, but I just have a feeling you'll be back. So we'll see, and we'll hold off on that until January. If that's not the case, we'll recognize you then. But I just want to give some thanks to you guys, and I'll just start. I'll have to go down the line. I don't like it like this, but I want to say thank you overall, and I'll start with Commissioner Jerry Thorne. You have served on LAFCO since February 2013 as a city member and mayor of the city of Pleasanton since 2012. Commissioner Thorne has supported the construction of 3 baseball fields at Bernal Community Park, also and continues to serve on numerous boards from regional and city committees, including, of course, Associated Bay Area Governments Executive Board, League of California Cities, Joint Powers Authority Committee for the Livermore Pleasanton Fire Department, Alameda County Transportation Committee, East Bay Economic Alliance for Business, and of course, many, many more. I just want to say and note, Commissioner Thorne's presence was felt once he walked in the room, and he doesn't have to say a thing. He commands respect, and he always treats you with that same respect back. And I just want to say, Jerry, Commissioner Thorne, you have brought a stable and strong energy to LAFCO, and I love that you just tell it straight. No holds barred. Your steadiness and resilience cannot be replaced. And I think we all hope just a twinkle of that will still remain with us. And I just want to say thank you. And I appreciate
Thank you very much.
I appreciate that. And I'm just gonna keep going, you guys, and then if you guys want to say something at the end, we can. So Commissioner John Marchand, you have served on LAFCO since February of 2012, and as a city member while also serving as the City of Livermore's mayor since 2011. Commissioner Marchand has also represented other boards, from leading as the board president of Zone 7 Water Agency, board of trustees for the Marine Science Institute, founding member of the Livermore Cultural Arts Commission, and of course, more while also volunteering on numerous association committees and a local water board, to co-authoring books, to cleaning up graffiti. Commissioner Marchand's expertise brought a great deal of policy decisions to LAFCO and more than earned his seat on the commission with his thoughtful and strong recommendations to members and staff. John always has something to add to the discussion and will often tell you about the many projects that he's working on, but never seems to tire of it. A great energy you bring with you. There's a great energy that you bring with you everywhere, and this energy will most certainly be missed on this commission. So thank you, Commissioner John Marchand.
Yeah, you forgot his thespian.
It's too much, all of you. Okay, and last and most certainly not least, we have Chair Scott Haggerty, and you have served on LAFCO since December of 1997, and the County Board of Supervisors since 1996, representing District 1 of the county, and serving the cities of Livermore, Dublin, and most of the city of Fremont, and unincorporated areas of East Alameda County. Chair Haggerty has taken a focus on regional transportation issues and served on pretty much every board and organization in a leadership capacity. And I will list them a few, such as the Metropolitan Transportation Commission, Alameda County Transportation Commission, Large Urban County Caucus, National Association of Counties, Bay Area Air Quality Management District, and of course, this is a minute few that I'm mentioning. One word that I would like to describe Scott is passionate. He believes and loves what he does, and he will not let anyone stand in the way of getting that done. He will listen and take into account any concerns, and if needed, will regroup and come right back with that same dedication. Chair Haggerty has pretty much been LAFCO for 23 years and has been a great model for me as an executive officer in learning how to do my job in the best way that I can. I will miss your sarcasm, Scott, and I will miss a little bit of that snark. And I just want to thank you for doing what you do and what you brought to the commission in LAFCO. And words cannot describe your value, and that goes for each one of you, all you commissioners. And so for Commissioner Marchand, Thorne, and Haggerty, you have definitely served with distinction and contributed to many significant accomplishments of this commission. And I can't go through everything, but you oversaw municipal service reviews and sphere of influence updates, annexations of Castro Valley Canyonlands to the Castro Valley Sanitary District, Eden Township Healthcare District special study, Cal LAFCO planning workshops, conferences, city municipal service review, district dissolutions, reorganizations, annexations, the most recent one, City of Albany to the Alameda County Mosquito Abatement District, and the success of past executive officers, Crystal Hashida, Luann Texera, and Mona Palacios. So I want to say that Alameda LAFCO formally recognizes Commissioners John Marchand, Jerry Thorne, and outgoing Chair Scott Haggerty for their commitment to the agency and dedication to their commissioners, staff, and the public, and it will not be the same without you. And I want you to know you're not leaving empty-handed, and you will receive, I will share my screen, I guess.
A dog.
I will.
I have 3.
A puppy.
A puppy.
You will
A puppy.
receive this plaque in honor of your service and just thanking you and congratulating you on your retirement and your many years of outstanding service.
Shows us sailing off into the distance.
So hold on, John. Hold on. We're going to do this like fantasy football draft. So I was last, so now I go first. Okay. I just want to say, first of all, to Rachel, you know, I know, first of all, I haven't been snarky in a while. So I just want to say that.
Not since this morning?
No, I just want to say that, Rachel, I've really grown to enjoy you. You really are a great executive director. You know, I know you and I had a rocky start in the beginning, but, you know, we put that aside and move forward. To my fellow commissioners, the one that I'm boring, Halbert, is obviously already yawning. I want to tell you, I consider each and every one of you friends, and I mean that sincere. You are great elected officials in your own right, and I know that there's a lot of people leaving, but for my seat, I feel very good about who's filling it. I don't know about the rest of you, and if you want to address that, you can, but I feel very good about David Howard stepping in, and I do know, and I mean, I'm saying this sincerely, I can leave this county knowing that it will be okay. And had the election gone the other way for my seat, it wouldn't have been good. And so I'm just really happy. You know, I hate to say this, but I kind of prayed on it, and I was told that if the voters are that stupid to elect the other guy, then that's what they deserve. And it was pretty blunt. So I figured, you know, it was good for David. And I just want to say that being on LAFCO for 24 years has been fun. There's been some really long meetings and some really short ones. But again, I've enjoyed all of you, your thoughts, and everything that has come along with it. So my words to those of you who are staying, continue the great job that you're doing. And I know that the replacement, at least my replacement, is going to be excellent.
Thank you, Scott.
Marshawn, you're up.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure quite how the draft went there. I thought, oh, that's right.
Oh, well, you know,
Jerry's
I've been in
next.
a lot of fantasy drafts. Your turn.
So, okay. It has been a great honor for me to serve on LAFCO. I was very proud of the fact that I helped create the policy committee. And with that, we actually developed the policy that Alameda County LAFCO didn't have, that one of the reasons to grant a sphere of influence was the preservation. It wasn't strictly for the development of a parcel or of a property or an area, that it was actually to preserve it. And that was one of our charges, to preserve agriculture and prime agricultural lands. It's been a lot of fun, Rachel, being on this commission, working with really some fantastic people, and seeing what our real charges are, raison d'etre, to preserve these lands, to make sure that there is orderly development and the preservation of our precious agricultural region, which we had the earlier presentation on. So thank you for all the recognition. It's kind of funny looking back and seeing all the stuff that's happened. I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying here, and hopefully to appreciate a lot of the great things that we've been able to accomplish over all these years. So it's been a profound honor and a privilege for me. On this Zoom call is also Bob Warner, who will be taking my place as mayor. Like Scott Haggerty, I'm very pleased that he's going to be taking up the mantle and taking over and taking care of the city of Livermore. I feel very confident that he'll do a great job. And I hope that he will also be able to take my position here on LAFCO. That's going to be a decision from the Alameda County Mayor's Conference, but I will certainly make the pitch that he takes Livermore's place on this commission. It's been a lot of fun. I've loved representing it on the state level and the local level. With that, thank you again for all the great work that you do, Rachel.
Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Rachel, for all those kind words. I can tell it's really looking in the rearview mirror. It's just hard to believe that I've actually been around so long, but I've been in elected and appointed positions for 26 years in Pleasanton. So it's a pretty long time, and I've enjoyed every minute of being on LAFCO. I think it's been a real education. I think LAFCO, sometimes the members of LAFCO don't realize just how influential we all are, not only on Alameda County, but the influence that we have on surrounding areas and the region and the decisions we make. So I enjoyed it. I appreciate the kind words, and I wish everybody a happy future.
Okay. One last thing. I just want to say that I really enjoyed working with my mayors, Mayor Marchand and Mayor Halbert, and yes, Mayor Thorne, because I did have Pleasanton for a while until the mayor before him wanted me out of there. So that's when I had to do the swap with Miley. But I've enjoyed working with each and every one of you. It's been great. You're all dedicated, fantastic elected officials, and I wish you all well in the future. So with that, if nobody has anything else to say.
Yeah. I just want to thank the three of you. Supervisor Miley, thank you, and John and Jerry for your time and your service. I've enjoyed working with all of you. Supervisor Haggerty for the longest. I've learned a lot. And if we hadn't done that swap, I feel responsible for Commissioner Halbert, kind of providing some tutelage for his preparation to step into the shoes of the great and grand Supervisor Haggerty.
All right.
Thank you, Nate.
You know what? One thing, LAFCO, that I hope you keep an eye on, Nate, his thoughts made me think about this, but I hope you keep an eye on redistricting, to be very honest with you, as that moves forward. I truly believe there should be a Tri-Valley district and a Tri-City district, and then a central, and split up the northern area. I don't know how Supervisor Miley feels, but I think LAFCO should be involved in that process. So I hope you take that process on. So if there's nobody else, we'll go ahead and move on.
Hold on, Scott. I mean, I think we should go around, and Ann and Georgine and Ralph, if they have anything to say. If they don't, I have something to say. Ann?
Well, that's what I keep asking, if anybody has anything to say.
Well, you keep talking. So let's see. How about Ann?
Well, Scott, we first met when you came and asked for my support. And I didn't know you, but you impressed me then, and you still impress me. You may be irascible at times, but I think your spirit is always good, and you're trying to do the right thing. I want you to enjoy your retirement. I'm sorry you're leaving the area, but hopefully we'll hear from you occasionally.
How about Georgine? Sorry, Scott, I'm gonna run this part.
I'm sorry to see you leaving the area, Scott. I know we haven't always agreed on things, but I always could count on you to speak up for the Tri-Valley, and that was most important to me through all these years. I have enjoyed LAFCO, enjoyed working with all of you. Someday I'll be able to talk Ralph or Ann out of the seats, and maybe I get to be something other than an alternate. But in the meantime, this has been fun. And Jerry, I'm going to miss you. And John, same with you. I know we haven't always agreed either, but I knew you always had Livermore in your heart. So And really, that's all that matters for any of us if we're representing our constituencies as best we can. And I know I've sent him a dozen emails, but Dave, congratulations. I'm glad it's in hands of people out here, and we can go from there. Thank you.
Can I just say something, Splen? I don't think I let Jerry say anything.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you did.
Okay, I guess you didn't give your opinion on your seat.
My seat's just fine.
Okay, so this this is Ralph. Enjoyed working with all three of you, John, especially on the policy and budget committee. I've enjoyed that. That's been fun. And Jerry, I think the city of Pleasanton was in good hands with you, and I think we've explored the Happy Valley issue quite a bit. That was fun. And Scott, I've probably known Scott longer than most of you. Scott, you know, we knew each other when I worked for Public Works. Our first project together, I'm not sure if you ever remember the Purple Orchid Inn.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it goes back a long time. I've enjoyed working with you as an employee, and now for the last several years as a commissioner on LAFCO with you. Wish you the best in your retirement. When I retired 20 years ago, it was probably the best thing I ever did. And I'm sure it's the same decision as yours, so good luck. And I'm looking forward to working with David as the new supervisor and hopefully the new LAFCO commissioner. So thanks, everybody.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to address all three of you. And the word has been used a lot, and that's passion. And all three of you have just exemplary passion. They're different passions, but all your passions have added so much to LAFCO, but also my experience here. I mean, I've been here for several years, and without your passions, without your just your deep caring for the people you represent and for the cities or the county that you represent, I don't think I would have wanted to stick around here. And I got to thank all of you for that. That's been extremely important. And but also, I do want to say that we're going to continue on the good work that you all have either created or contributed to. It's going to be difficult because we're going to have new people, and Rachel and I even talked about, how do we bring the newbies along, right? And that's going to be our burden, our responsibility to bring them up to speed and carry on your all the good things you've done. But most of all, thank you for everything you've done, all your service over the last several years, for whether it was on the city or the county or Zone 7. Thank you. You don't know how much you'll be missed.
Hey, Splen, in as well. I know we're saying our goodbyes, and Jerry and John, we've got lunch planned next week with all the mayors of the Tri-Valley, but I want everybody else to hear my appreciation for you as mentors, as you've both served as mayor a couple of years longer than me. I came on board after you guys were already working well together. You brought me in, you helped tutelage for me. And we work well together, and just the camaraderie. We've got a great working relationship. And then, Scott, we'll have plenty of time to roast you, thank you, celebrate you, because you have 52 days, some odd hours left. But, hey, going back to 20 years ago when we started to get to know each other, when Alameda County wanted to put a small little thing called a juvenile hall out in Dublin, and we pushed back on that, and then we worked together briefly when I was on LAFCO the first time around, 2008 to 2012, and then now here the last 6 years on LAFCO, and always been supportive. I just want to say you have been inspirational, motivational, tutorial. Just a great leader, and watching you on other commissions as well, Alameda County Transportation Commission, LAFTA Commission, and others that we've been able to spend a lot of time together with. Wish we had more, but we got 52 days left still. thank you for all you've done and your work on this body. I didn't realize was 24 years in the running. So just outstanding, learning all of your accomplishments. This is one of them for sure. Thank you for all you do for the county.
Vice Plan, can I speak now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
You're the final word.
No final word. We're going to move on. I think I'm ready to move on, right? I had a final word, Splend. You yelled at me for doing it. Okay, so with that.
You have the final word, Scott.
No. If there's no business before this commission, we are adjourned. And again, Rachel, I want to thank you for putting this last item on the agenda. That was very nice, to be honest with you. There's certain boards and commissions where I'm not allowing them to do that. But it was nice to be recognized by the peers here. So with that, we're adjourned. Your next meetings are the Policy and Budget Committee meeting, December 3rd, and you have a regular meeting, January 14th, and you'll figure out your chairmanship at that point. Okay? All right. Thank you all.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Scott.
Thank you.